Fairbanks Focus is a locally produced public affairs program created in part by University of Alaska Fairbanks, KTVF, and Fairbanks Economic Development Corporation.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on the Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. I'm Samantha Larson. I hope everyone had a great holiday vacation or break, or even if you worked, I hope it was still fabulous. Today joining us on the show is Mr. Jim Dixon, UAF Association Alumni President. Mr. Dixon, thank you for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. It's a little bit chilly this morning.
It is a little bit chilly. I wasn't very happy to get out of my warm, cozy bed. How was your break?
Well, my break was fine. I stayed in town and worked on campus, so it's nice to be able to sit there and work with few people around. You get a lot done.
I read books and slept like a bum. Well, let's go ahead and jump right into this. If you would, tell me a little bit about what it is that you do as the Alumni Association President.
As the Alumni Association President, I represent the Alumni Association at a variety of functions. I run the board meetings. We have an executive director who I direct with different projects and functions that we want to do. And also, we're also a sort of a sounding board for the administration, so that if the chancellor or one of the vice chancellors wants to know what alumni are thinking, the Alumni Association is a place that they can go.
So you're the go-to guy.
They're the go-to guy. We're also an independent organization from the university, so that we have our own revenues of funding. And so when we go down and talk to the legislature, we have the voice of the alumni. We don't necessarily have the voice of the university, although that the university administration, Alumni Association, thinks very much alike.
Okay. It's my understanding that the Alumni Association has a big hand in facilitating fundraisers to raise money for numerous purposes on campus.
We have a program called the Benefactor Fund that we solicit money from life members and select other members who've donated in the past. And we usually generate about $10,000 a year, and we use that money for grants. So that if you're walking around campus, our first really big project was the time and temperature sign on campus. And I see that every day, and it's really nice. And every time I see it, I say, this is what the Alumni Association can give to the university. We've also sponsored the Hall of Fame display that's at the Penny Center, so that you look around and you see all sorts of different things. But it's not just to the university, to athletics. We donate to student groups. We've donated money to the folks who did the electric snow machine. We've given money to student groups like the women's and men's rugby team. And there's a variety of places that we've been able to sit there and sprinkle a little money. And it's really nice to be able to give out these small gifts to the university and to the student groups to make life easier.
Yeah, I think as a college student, every little bit counts, you know, whether it's to a single student or to a student group, you know, whatever possibly can help contribute to making things happen on campus.
It really is. An Alumni Association looks in the students that alumni to be, and so it's we want to make their life better so they have a better view of the university, and that when they come out alumni, they're already used to dealing with the Alumni Association.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about scholarships and how the Alumni Association facilitates scholarships.
The Alumni Association has about a half a dozen scholarships where they give out to whether it's supporting students who have a penchant for leadership or penchant for community service, or there's a need-based scholarship. And we also have a scholarship where that if you're a member, if your mother, father, aunt, uncle is a member of the Alumni Association, then you can apply for that also, just sort of to treat our legacy members the way that we want to see. We want to have students of alumni coming back to university.
Well, I mean, the students that are, you know, at the campus right now or the university, they will be the future alumni. So.
In fact, they are the future alumni.
I mean, you know, I think it's great that you guys set such a high example and, you know, really get out there and help and, contribute to the students. How would current or future students go about getting more information on these scholarships? I'm not exactly sure about how scholarships are done at the university level, but I know that if you apply for scholarships, that we draw from the people who just put a general application in. So that if you click a box that says, yes, I want to apply for alumni scholarships, I think it is, we get about 150 different applications for each scholarship and try to whittle it down. Wow. And there's only one student that gets picked per scholarship, correct?
There is, although we do have like the Audrey Loftus scholarships, where we generate 2 scholarships out of that fund. So it's, we're always trying to find more money for scholarships.
Okay, so basically if a current or future student goes onto the UAF website, is there a certain box or option that the student can click on to go to the alumni page to view these scholarships?
We have our own website, so if you Google UAF Alumni Association, you'll come to our page, and there certainly are scholarships, and there should be a link there that would direct you. And I'm sure that if you talk to financial aid, they will also have the information how to apply for alumni scholarships.
Okay, sounds great. So just to get a clear understanding, the fundraisers that the Alumni Association facilitates are what creates these scholarships?
We do a lot of different ways to raise money. For instance, we have a wine tasting at the Wood Center Pub on February 16th at 6 o'clock. And that's going to help raise monies and put money towards scholarships. The Alumni Association also runs a hamburger booth during the fair, and that's where we generate a lot of money for scholarships. And so we have a dedicated cadre of volunteers that come by and donate their time and efforts on sit there to sell a hamburger and raise money. And so not only do we fund scholarships, but we also fund a lot of the other friend-raisers activities that we do in Fairbanks.
Friend-raisers, I like that. That's a good term.
Yes, a lot of people go by and says, we don't want to, what do I get for my Alumni Association dues? And one of the things you get is not only do we have sort of business partnerships and things like reduced rates at the SRC, but we have these different events. Like we try to host a Gold Panthers game every year where we give alumni and university folks a chance to come to a game on us.
Oh, wow.
And we raise monies, and so we can offer the cake reception at graduation. So these are some of the things that we do that we take with the money, and we know money's always tight for everybody, and so
absolutely.
We try to be friend raisers for the university, not fundraisers.
Well, I like wine, I like hamburgers, I like cake. I think you sold me on the Alumni Association so far. As long as there's going to be cheese at the wine fundraiser.
We will have cheese and crackers also.
Okay, well then I will be there with bells on. Yeah. Just one last thing while I have you here. Tell me a little bit about the new terrain park that is going to be built on campus.
The university is establishing a new terrain park, and if you drive by the university, you'll see the ice climbing wall. That's just one part of it. And then if you go further up the hill, underneath Petrovich, you'll see some mounds that are out there, and I think there's a yurt I saw just the other day.
Really?
And so, yeah, they're going to run everything out of the yurt, and it's supposed to open sometime soon. But no, I think that the terrain park is going to be a nice star attraction for the university. It's going to be great to attract students. It's going to be great to attract faculty and staff. And also, alumni are going to find this a reason to come back on campus.
Oh, absolutely. So it's basically a winter version of a skate park, if you will?
It's going to be a winter version of the skate park. So, there's lots of opportunity. There'll be opportunities now for snowboarders, just like on the university they have opportunities for cross-country skiing and for sledding and for all these other winter activities that get us outside.
Yeah, I'll have to try the sledding because I don't snowboard. I just fall right on my face. There is no snowboarding. That sounds like a great addition. I'm excited. If any more reasons we can get to get people outside when it's cold, especially, I think it's great.
Yeah, and we're trying to raise a little bit of money so that we can sit there and donate some money to the terrain park for one thing or another, and so that's still ongoing. But it's but I think the Alumni Association is going to find that the train park is going to make campus a much more attractive place for our alumni.
Okay. Well, I think that is gonna about do it for us here on the show today. Is there anything you'd like to add, Mr. Dixon, before we go?
No, I think I got a great education when I went to UAF, and I was able to sit there and be successful in my job. And I've now come back, and I'm serving with the Alumni Association. So it's really nice. And the one thing that I find with the Alumni Association that is my greatest pleasure is when it comes to graduation, is to sit there and stand on stage and shake the hand of every graduate that comes by. It's probably one of the best things about being president of the Alumni Association.
Well, it sounds really rewarding.
It is.
It really does. And I have to say, as a current UAF student, I look forward to shaking your hand on graduation day. Maybe even digging into some of that cake, too. All right. Well, that's going to about do it for us here today on the Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. I'm Samantha Larson. Excuse me, I got tongue-tied. This is Mr. Jim Dixon. Have a great day and stay warm out there.
Thanks for joining us today at Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. I'm Annette Pearson, and today I am joined by Russell Talvey. Russell is the Fairbanks Director for the Small Business Development Center. And Russell, tell us a little bit about what you do, what the Small Business Development Center does.
Well, thank you, Annette, for having me here today. Appreciate the opportunity to share this information. The Alaska Small Business Development Center, or SBDC, is an office that is affiliated with the SBA, the Small Business Administration, federal department. We're kind of the public outreach, if you will, educational outreach, and across the nation, every state has these SBDCs that function to help grow and promote the success of local businesses. So we're a local business resource in the Fairbanks community and other communities around the state where business people, ones that want to start a business, or folks that are already involved in an existing business, want some assistance, they can come and see us, and we'll help them make their business work better.
And that's kind of the mission of the Small Business Development Center is making business better. And how do you guys help do that?
We work with folks on several different levels. We have a really awesome website that is aksbdc.org. It has tools on the website that business folks, both new and existing, can use to help with business plans if they're developing a new product or a service. Also some financial management tools, cost analysis, break-even analysis kinds of tools, the kinds of things that if you're looking at a business will help you decide whether it's a good business or not.
Whether it's a venture that you want to go ahead and invest in.
Correct. And we, on that same website, it introduces people to the 5 phases of a business. The initial phase, which is the think phase. A lot of people come and find us because they've got the world's greatest idea about a product or a service, which is part of that entrepreneurial spirit that we love. And they don't exactly know where to start. So maybe a bank sends them to us to answer some questions, or the State of Alaska Department of Business Licensing gets that phone call or refers them after they send a question into the website about what kind of business they want to be, or the different options that are available there. The second phase is the launch phase, which that's where the business actually gets their license and starts selling that service or product and making sure that they have the appropriate insurance and other things that they need.
Investing the time and money.
Exactly. Sometimes they do it themselves. Sometimes they need to find some funding from other sources, so we can help them with that. We can help them prepare the things that a bank will like to see, or the SBA, if that ends up being a lending institution, or some of the other venues for funding that are out there, like the state of Alaska, some of the loan funds.
And then what would be the other two parts?
So after launch, we have Grow, which that's where the existing businesses come in. And I really like to share with existing business folks that we're here to work with them as well, not just the new businesses. For the last 25 years, I've managed and owned my own businesses. And I had a little bit of an inkling about what SBDCs were and what they did, but it was mostly about new businesses. I knew they could help folks with business plans, and I knew they could help people get some ideas off the ground. But what I didn't know, and I wish I would have known as an existing business, is that there were business advisors like me available in the community for the free one-on-one counseling, and that they could look at my business and help me make my business better. Whether it was in terms of helping me with some sales and marketing, or maybe understanding how my industry was changing and how I needed to adapt to the new technology. That was evidencing itself in an industry that I was already in. And that's another one of those phases of business that we call the reinvention phase.
Okay.
As technology or consumer demands change.
Well, and like I've been part of the photography industry, and that of course has changed by leaps and bounds. So it's good to know that there's a place that can help you make that transition too, as as I have been part of watching businesses change from being film to digital. So
right.
So SBDC can kind of help with that transition too.
Yeah, and we subscribe to some software and some services that help us with demographic information and information about changes in those industries across the country, but also we can get very specific information about the demographics of our community and consumer interests and demands in our community for businesses. And those are services that most businesses can't afford to get or don't know how to get. So.
Well, and certainly, at any time in there too, it's like, well, we could really use some help with this. It's good to know that there's someone even that can just be like, oh, well, we actually can help you with that.
Right.
And then the final phase you were saying was actually exiting.
Right.
And I know most people, when you're thinking about starting a business, you never really think about, well, do I still want this business in 30 years? So that's really good to know that you guys sort of help people in that planning phase too.
Absolutely, and that's a phase that the longer you prepare for it and the better your strategy is, the higher value your business will have. And although most people don't think about it when they start a business, that's certainly kind of the end game, is they're either going to be transferring that ownership to somebody, or they're going to be selling it, or they won't be running that business forever.
I think most people want to retire at some point.
So we help with that as well, and we have the resources. Now, for all of those things that we've talked about, whether it's writing the business plan or helping develop an exit strategy, we don't necessarily do the work for the business person, because that's an important thing that they have to do, but we do serve as a clearinghouse that can refer them to the right resources in the community, whether it be another business or an agency of the government or whatever, but that can help them make that happen. Our sessions are confidential, and the one-on-one counseling is free. And because we are, I think, more aware after the last few years of our economic challenges here in this country of the importance of small business and the job creation that small business does, because that really is our economic engine of job creation. We just want folks to know that we're out there to help them and help their businesses grow and succeed.
Well, and I know that you guys do a lot of stuff through the website for like webinars and workshops, but you still do workshops here as well in conjunction with other businesses, and you have one coming up on exit strategies, don't you?
Correct. With the great technology that's out there today, some of the things that we used to actually, you'd have to attend live in person, we can now say, please visit this webinar or go watch this video and it'll help you answer the basic questions about starting a business. But for some of the more advanced topics, we partner with local businesses and professionals, whether it's about some of the legal considerations, accounting considerations, or a seminar that we're working with a local business consulting group to promote that's coming up on February 19th is about exit planning strategies for businesses, just what we were talking about earlier. And doesn't mean that somebody's looking to sell their business tomorrow, but maybe in 2 years or 4 years, or they're planning to do that and make that
Now,
happen.
is there a cost at all to be part of that workshop?
Well, the one that's coming up on the 19th, it's actually being put on by Das and Associates, which is a new business consulting company that's funding that. So the workshop is free. If people are interested in doing that, they can contact our office and we can make sure that they get the registration information. The principal of that business is Joe Heckman, who's a retired president of Denali Bank and very well-known person in our business community. And, you know, it's a service that she sees a need for, so she's put that together.
Oh, very
And we'd
cool.
like to get that word out, so thank you for helping us do that.
Oh, no problem. Well, and then you guys, of course, work with SBA, which is federal, the Small Business Association, and they help fund you guys, but you guys work with other people in the community too.
Absolutely. So SBA, Small Business Administration, the federal guys, of which we're that SBDC here in the state of Alaska.
Sort of the outcrop.
Yes, that kind of outreach organization. They are our primary funder, and they fund 50% of the cost of our programs. The other part of our programs are made up through the state of Alaska and through private sources, like lending institutions and individuals and things of that nature. But we have partner programs that we work very closely with, and some of which are under our same umbrella, so to speak. One of those is the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, or PTAC, and those folks are in the same office that I'm in, and what they do is they help businesses learn how to do business with federal, state, and local government.
So if they were wanting, like if a business wants to, say, do work with the military because they see a need, they would go through the
Correct.
PTAC. Okay.
And PTAC could help them know who to contact, what the logistics would be of doing business, making sure that they had the right kinds of certifications and insurance, and they're right there and they're able to help as well. So we also partner, one of our partner programs is buyalaska.com, which is a free website for Alaska businesses to post their services and products.
Oh, cool.
And it takes about 10 minutes, and I'd encourage folks to do that.
And so that's any business out there that
Sure.
just wants to be part of a network of other Alaskan businesses?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And it's a place that people do go and search, and we're going to have some enhancements to that website and some additional cooperation with some other programs of the state of Alaska through association. So I see that continuing to grow and being a great place for businesses to be
Oh, very
for a free listing.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't go wrong.
No, you can't go wrong with free advertising, right? Awesome. Well, and if people want to come find you, I understand you said something about a new location in the last year and a half, and I've worked at some places in Fairbanks that have been around for a long time and have moved. So
the Alaska SBDC office in Fairbanks is at 3750 Bonita Street, which is one intersection east of the light on Lathrop and Van Horn.
Okay.
So we share some space there with the Associated General Contractors of Alaska. It's in their building, and so I have an office there. The PTAC, or Procurement Technical Assistance Program, has an office there. So yeah, we're there, and we're happy to be of assistance in any way we can.
Awesome. And what are like the hours that there's someone around if someone wants to stop by? And
They're typical business hours.
Okay.
You know, let's say that, let's call it 9 to 5, but
you can set up appointments, you said,
Absolutely.
for counseling, like on the web and through your website.
yeah, and I try to keep hours that work for the businesses that I'm working with. So I'll meet with business owners or businesses to be, you know, before or after those hours or on weekends if necessary, so that I can accommodate their schedule, knowing that they're busy.
Cool. And where were you guys before?
We were in the couple different locations, but most recently we were in the CTC building,
Okay.
and so people may know us from there and may be looking for us there, but we are now out on Van Horn Road. So.
Cool. And you were saying something, I know we were talking earlier about you guys are getting ready to have like an open house.
We are. January 30th, from 4 o'clock to 6:30, we'll have an open house for both the Alaska SBDC office and the PTAC office at our 3750 Bonita Street location there. And invite people that may have been our clients in the past or want to be clients of ours, or have referred clients to us, or just want to know where we went, and to meet us and reacquaint themselves, just to come there, and we'll have some appetizers, and yeah, it'll be a nice little event. So.
Well, you know, you say free food and appetizers, and you know, people usually will come at least to see what you have to offer. So, and I always, you know, I really like how you said it's a clearinghouse for resource and information. So, just one more time, would you remind our viewers of your website?
Our website is aksbdc.org, and from that website you can find our tools, you can find out more about the services that we offer, and then you can also request counseling with me as your Fairbanks business advisor right from that website, if that's something you'd like to do.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for being on our show today. I really appreciate having you.
And thanks for having me, and thanks for letting me share this message with the folks of Fairbanks.
Awesome. And thanks for joining us on Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. I'm Annette Pearson, and we'll see you next week.